Hello everyone, my name is Yuta Jazz, and today we are going to do a video about a mystic's message, and it can be obviously for all of those mystics out there that are practicing witches and spiritualists and wizards and warlocks and all the rest. You can use that, uh, you know, whole shindig for yourself to tap into any of the decks that might have like a message for you on what is spiritually affecting you, where you're at in your spiritual journey, what's happening with the ascension step that you're currently on. And if you're not practicing spirituality in any way, this can just be a reading for you about what is occurring in the spirit realm. And it could, excuse me, I have an incense stick going here, and I kind of took in a big ball of smoke accidentally. So if you see smoke out of nowhere over here, that's because there's one stick of smelly smoke sticks going on here. So yeah, as I was saying, if you're not a spiritualist, I do gotta mention, like I just got a whiff of energy of like maybe you could become a person that really gets into it and studies it on a even higher level and practices it just because I got taken off my train of thought that I wanted to say, which is, you can just use it as a reading for metaphysical details that you're not aware of or you're not really tapped into to just have an overview of like what's occurring with your ancestry, what's occurring with your spiritual energy, what's occurring with whatever it is that you don't consciously actually know or pay attention to. And this can get like pretty collective for each and every pile. Mostly it is going to be personal details, and obviously we all know how general slash collective readings or pickup piles work, right? There's multiple people tuning into the same message, finding different points of resonance and different points that relate to them. And sometimes you get stuff that doesn't relate. Sometimes it's a half and half. Sometimes it's a bunch of stuff. And other times, if you're like spiritually inclined, or if you're just stalking people, I guess, which I hope you don't do, that's just my opinion. Um, you can hear about really wacky, high vibe, other realm energy that doesn't at all have any like manifestation in your real life, honestly. Like it doesn't you don't have a tether to it, but hearing about it is important to some extent or level. I don't know necessarily why, but we will figure that out, or you can apply it to yourself however it's going to be relevant. Maybe you're just here for the tea, to multi-dimensional whatever tea. We'll see where it goes, because honestly, this is new for me too, because we have five piles. I was shuffling for just four as usual, and they were like, "No, there's a fifth one," and I'm like, but the five piles. And it's like, no, it's gonna be fine. And yeah, I don't know how long I'm gonna be sitting here for, but we'll see. And this is an encouragement message. At least, you can divinate the top and bottom of the deck however you want, but for me, at least, it is going to be centering around gathering strength and moving forward, and actually like taking the time needed to review different ideas, passions, projects, desires, goals, like in general, having a down period to gather strength to have an overview, or just even finding confidence and looking to something beyond, right? Something that is a new beginning that you want to undertake, a new inflow of energy, or a new journey to take on, right? However, this might relate to you in the Three of Wands. Um, it's about getting courage and gathering strength there. And also for some of us who have been on a journey of like unraveling and making and birthing something, the strength card also is talking to me about Leo. So something maybe around 8-8 is kind of coming across. So something around 8-8, something around the week after 8-8, something like, I don't know, planting seeds or moving certain energy and blockages and situations out of your life. So there's more of this like strength energy. So there's more backing with Leo energy towards your passions, towards your desires and ideas, right? Yeah, however that relates to you, you can apply that. Other than that, we're gonna go into pile one and through to five, and you can, pick the pile you want. I think this was enough time to choose while I was yip yappering on. So yeah, we're gonna jump right in. Hello, pile number one. So yeah, we're gonna jump right into it. I do have a bit of a mention to say. You're the only pile that's not somehow that is standing out on its own already. And that's because like one, my setup has changed, but also I have needed to put the four groups that are left after you, I've needed to group them up into separate parts of the table. And that really stuck out to me because you'd be then the only pile that is sticking out on its own, on your own feet. Maybe you are a person that has had to journey and make your own decisions from a very young and early age. Maybe you're a person that always is a leader, always a light bringer, a warden of sorts as well. And I don't mean like warden as in prison warden, but warden as in opportunity warden, probability warden, choices that like people are really fired up around, right? You're the person that's the first one to talk to them about it in terms of either deterring them so they take more time, maybe nitpicking at their plans to see if they are really confident about going for it, right? And you might just do it automatically. You might not understand why the fuck it's happening. You might be like, why did I go there again? If you do have a thing of like you're the one that's the first one to have difficult conversations about certain dreams and ideas and projects, that is why. You are a go-getter in your own fashion and way. And you could be the most chilled out person ever. You're not about goals. You go with the flow. You don't give a hoot or a damn, right? But the way you come across in the pizzazz, the jazz, the amp and passion that you have for life and things happening, that's the thing that really shines outward and makes you stand out, but also brings you obviously like different achievements and victories and goals. And you don't view them the same way as people that don't achieve view life or goals. Or even if they do achieve, right? A lot of people chain it together and make it like a step process that matters a lot, and they get overly attached and lost in it and whatever. And you're like, nah, I'm just here for my own like vibes, like whether it involves evolution or just having fun or just making stuff happen. You see all of it as an experience to have joy over and like come out of and go through and get results, but in the way that it makes you just like feel better and more present and maybe creates like certain moments where you enjoy yourself, but you're it's not like you're just, looking forward to the progress of everything. You already know everything's progressing. So you don't have as much of an attachment to expectations or desires or wins or goals or whatever. You view them differently. It's like life is made out of wins and losses. You just gotta live through it and have whatever like approach helps you to enjoy it the most that you can. And through that, you also like change and transform. And honestly, like it doesn't, it's all a bit off balance how people view it. They make it out to be one thing or another thing, and then they don't realize like, hey, you're at the center of all of it, which is very cerebral, surreal, in my opinion. Like in general, there's so much coming through with this group and pile, and I feel like a lot of you aren't surprised at me mentioning the point that you're like individuals in your own life, right? You're self-sustainable, you're long-term, you know how to get your stuff off the ground or keep it moving, stuff like that. And this doesn't need to be either a person that, is for the long term or the short term or whatever. Like you can be completely like your own with how you take on certain responsibilities or how you structure your life. Like this doesn't necessarily define that. It just shows the energy and the impact that you have behind you being yourself and living your best life. And for some of you, I feel like you were questioning something throughout, like me channeling that. I feel like you were questioning yourselves. Is this your pile? Did I click on the right pile? I don't know. I don't feel like it. Da, 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 da. If you are working towards this, or if you've ever wanted to be like this, or dreamt about it, or very much admired other people and thought, like, how do I do that for myself? This is still your pile because you're somewhere along the way to it. And it's important for you to hear this as a kind of looking to the future in a way. Um, or getting, like your motivation with it up, like just believing in the process, believing in yourself, and knowing that you are watching this reading with people that are of this vibration, right? And just because like you aren't, let's say, completely there yet, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that you're not on that timeline basically in like there yet already, right? You are a different part of the same energy or process, and it doesn't really matter if you're not there yet. You're already there by just being who you are, but also having the interests and the values that you have. It doesn't need to be the finished product. It's all the same. It's just different levels and variations of it, right? So if this resonates, like don't discourage yourself by saying like I'm not like this or I'm not there yet or something. Like you are on your path to becoming this, and the other group is like, or the other side of the group that's watching this are people that have gotten to a different level of it. And this could potentially show you some things about I don't know, the disillusionment of getting there or being this person, right? Like your life becomes different, but not necessarily just good, improved, and no issues, is how it's coming across. So yeah, you've this Seven of Swords is weird in the middle. Like it's not bad weird. It's just it kind of looks like you're people that you don't mind cutting and starting things all the time if they're not for you or whatever. You don't want to leave things high and dry or just like slap it off and move on and disrespect the whole thing or process. But it is more of a case of like you don't stick in the attachment ideas of like, oh, I need to work this job, I need to be in this relationship, I have to be with this group of people. You move really easily. And at some point, some people have probably maybe called you out to be deceiving, but really you're just doing what's best for yourself. There's something else here. There's so much with that Seven of Swords. I guess like maybe you have a lot of charisma, right? And like sometimes it's a balance between getting what you like and what you want, and also doing what is best in general. And it's not like you need to self-sacrifice, but it is kind of like you, with your character and personality, have a certain level of accountability and responsibility, and it's kind of like you could throw it all away and not care and just be whatever, but at the same time you have already seen the impact that it creates, and it doesn't serve you, so it definitely doesn't serve anyone around you, and it's kind of like a full circle situation. But the other side of it is you can have a lot of fun. You can have a lot of extra special experiences. I don't know why I wanted to come across that way, but you have some type of allowance, access, permission from like, I don't know, the world, people, universe, everything to be like a caring, daring, and just kind of like dashing person where you make stuff happen. You move where you want to. No drama can really stick to you. Um, because you just don't need to attach to it, but then you make stuff happen. You just make the stuff happen. Some of it is out of control, your control, because it's like you move here, the energy can become completely something else or different. Like let's say you become more carefree in a party, and out of nowhere in the other room, people just start arguing over nothing. You're like, I feel like this is connected, but I wasn't even in the room, so fuck it. I'm not gonna pay attention to it. But you've noticed that like if you're in one part of a space, something else is happening in the other one. That is because like there's a different resonance of energy in the room. There's a different vibe all across because you are having your own experience, which is either, running away with the winds and the great ideas and just the freedom and fluidity of it, but then other times it's like I need to be kind of careful because shit's gonna happen either way, and I kind of want the best stuff to happen instead of accidentally like, running with this and then having consequences and repercussions I'm not ready for. It does seem like you're a very intense and balanced person. Intense, not in the same way we perceive emotional people, but more like intense in the point that maybe you move fast, maybe life is very sharp turns for you, right? Like every decision really matters and counts. Maybe stuff isn't really chained up and linked up the same way a very stable person that's slow and steady and homebody type of vibes, right? Like it's very different because you are very cerebral in a way, just translucent. You just kind of like here and there, everywhere, whatever's happening, you're at the center of it, even if you're not at the center of it. I mean, so yeah, you have an awareness about this. You have an awareness that you are a unique individual. You don't really make it like a whole, like a little bit maybe like, hey, I'm special and I accept that, but also not too much. It's kind of like, I know I have a conscious pull vibe. I know that how I think and how I feel really affects the room. I know that my energy in its own freedom of like my individuality and how unique I am really drives home some stuff that other people couldn't really even dream of. Um, And you have a certain connection. It's weird how my headset just died, and most of the time I'm like, whatever, let's keep going. But this time it does feel to me, because of the part of the message that I was just about to speak, you might have actually had forces that have tried to bring you down, and it doesn't need to be just individuals. It could be certain environments, certain spiritual beings in those environments. Could be just how astral spaces are made behind certain institutions, workplaces, homes, maybe even that really tried to bring you down instead of empowering you to have this as like your own unique aspect of freedom and expression and how you go about things. But besides that, what I really wanted to say was actually you have a connection with the divine and higher realms. You might have meditation sessions or daydreams, or when you're traveling, like looking out the window, daydreaming then, that are just out of this world. Like you are hearing about higher council stuff, the background behind that, what cosmic energies are moving into what direction, why shifts and changes have happened, what actual agreements or disagreements have happened in energy, maybe even be between like very high celestial beings of some sort or high multi-dimensional beings. Like you know the tea that other beings don't know the tea of, basically. And you accept that. You quite appreciate it and you work in that space to an extent, but you're more like a student of it rather than a player in it. So you get to observe and learn, but you don't exactly, you're not allowed yet to exchange very directly or strongly within that dynamic or within that space. You can still exchange with so much, but it's like of higher realm stuff. You're more of an observer unless you get called to and told, we need you to speak your mind, or you need to let us know personally, like where are you feeling this? Like what are you seeing from it? And then have that affect these beings or these energies or these situations. Damn, that's cool. That's cool. Shuffle three of the top. Doo-ba-doo. I mean, legit. It's just clarifying what we already spoke of. Yeah, it's legit. It's legit clarifying what we just spoke on. There's no extra info per se. You don't hold on to stuff. You take your time to consider the situation, your choices, matters, whatever, to not disturb the peace too much. Um, You do what is best and needed for your own well-being, but like balance and mediation and everything else, like you don't necessarily go by other people, but you do go by what is of your most interest or best interest, right? Um, I can't word it the same way, but same, whatever I was talking about here. And yeah, um, having a connection to higher realms, but also having some restrictions. Because it is training you for something. It's moving you onto a different level, and I think you're just working out certain things that would be in your shadow energy that wouldn't be of alignment. Because shadow can be both, right? It can be alignment and misalignment. Here it's like not fun alignment. This would be like this is coming through as like, oh, if I have this access, then I abuse it, and you are doing it so you don't abuse it. Maybe you've had an yeah, no, we skipping that. We it's not important. I feel like some of you were like, no, tell me the tea. And it's like, no, it's not important. People that are watching this and this is resonating to, they already know what this devil card is about. Especially under the high priestess. Like, if you guys don't know what the fuck this is about, I would be very surprised because this is so direct. Like this is very apparent. Um, and yeah, I don't know. You're in the know of this situation. These two energies or these two cards more so than me. There's like one or two situations I could describe to a T, but I don't think that's necessary. I think if anything, like, it's left to be unsaid. And I feel like some of you were sad because you were here for the gossip. Um, yeah, to end off the reading, we have the Fool and the Nine of Swords reversed. So definitely speaking to the point that you've been through some stuff and you've needed to carve this life out yourself. Like no one really has had a proper input. Like you've seen things that you've liked that have given you a good input, but you haven't had actual people that supported you. What's that word in English? That have supported you or embraced you. There we go, through it. I don't think embrace is exactly the one, but parented, orphaned, mentored, taught, like all of those type of vibes. There hasn't been a person like that. You haven't even really, you've met like a couple of peers, as in people of the same level, but you haven't spoken to them much. It's like you were passing by. Age difference was a thing. Everything was a thing. Like you couldn't connect to that person. It was just nice to see each other in life, I guess, is the best way that is coming across. And yeah, you've chosen to then just keep going this way because this is the only thing that really works and makes me happy. And you do know that you're ahead of the curve, but sometimes it's a bit sad that you're the only person that sees life this way. You kind of wish someone else could see it through the same lens or could discuss the same lens. It's like some of the things have been things that you would have loved to actually just conversate over instead of just being alone in your head discovering all the time. So yeah, that is all I'm getting. I hope this has helped you. I hope you have enjoyed. I feel like for some of y'all you were saying like this was a mind blower. Um and I'm glad, I'm very much appreciative of that. Thank you so much for watching, joining, letting me read your energy. Thank you for sharing all of the support and whatever else in the comment sections or the like buttons and the subscribes. And if you want to see more of me, you can go to the link tree down below for my Twitch and gaming and other stuff. So yeah, this was really good. I'm wishing you the very best and have a good one. Bye. Hello, pile number two. Welcome to your reading. And we have the the Knight of Cups reversed. Um, Interesting. For some of you, love offer did not go well. It went fucking sideways. There's not much I'm getting on that anymore as well. I don't know. I just that's the thing that kind of came through. It's not a love reading. You don't need to click off if that doesn't resonate. But for some people, it is a case of like love has really messed you up, or the someone seeking love with you really messed you up. Yeah. But don't worry about that too much, I guess. Would be just something to say. But let's move on because the reading isn't about that. It's just, I don't know, I think it was just important for some people that clicked onto here. Reversed. Some of y'all wanted that upright. It's reversed. Um, damn. Fuck. This pile is not having a good time. Yeah, it's very sharp energy. There's a lot of pain. There's a lot of pain that you've just kept to yourself. You haven't been processing it. You haven't been honest about it. And don't come at me for whatever. You can click off the reading if you don't want to hear this. But honestly, like you have definitely been blaming someone else for everything that has occurred. You're blaming them for the pain, you're blaming them for things not working out, for you not being able to invest what you need to, and for that. Then there's also some blame about the universe just cursing you and you being like karma's bitch, basically. Like God doesn't give a shit about you. No one cares. You're just cursed and you're in pain. And that is not true. That is you disempowering yourself and keeping yourself in this pain and then saying like I can't do anything about it to move forward or do anything for my best interests at heart. Like I need to be taken care of is how this is coming across more so than like I really want to change and make myself better. Like I want to just feel better because you are like things happen to us. Obviously, not everything is always in our control. Accidents happen. Everything happens. Even in the scope of of energy, spirituality, in the universe, like everyone's trying their best is the only thing that you could really like kind of click onto. But otherwise, like, are you always trying your best? Huh? Right? Like, um, we have so much power in how we experience ourselves, treat ourselves, and what comes of like our lives because of it, because of the approach we have, even if we have to go through 10, 20, 30 years of issues and pain, right? The way we go through it and do it can determine the whole rest of our 30, 40 years, maybe even 50 or 60 left after that. And it's really important to take into account that like doesn't matter how long stuff keeps going on for, we always have a choice on how we invest in it, how we deal with our issues and pains, and then how we express it. And then what comes of it because of our integrity, of our values, of our desires, or where we are at and how we're learning through life, right? For mystics, I am getting also a message of like, you people are kind of fond of manipulating the script. At some points, you've done it on a more aligned level, but then most of the time, you've just chosen to not do it with your integrity or your best heart at hand. You've always done it from logical ideas that would make you the most profit. You've never went out of your comfort zone to really help someone out unless you saw there was something of value to you, something you wanted to take, to have, to acquire, to live by. Yeah, it's some of you have had tendencies and like energy vampire stuff. Okay. Oh, Jesus Christ. Um, I would reverse these cards if I had to, but I feel like they're stuck in the reverse. Okay, so you are looking into prospects of what you could move on to do. You are still hawking other people, though. You're not you're not looking at the thing you need to build or direct or do. You're hawking at other people, thinking of like, how can I have you? How can I get to? How can I do you? How can you be a part of my life in helping me get better and me become more than what I think I'm capable of or am? Because you actually believe opposite of me. instead of me trying to learn how to do that actually for myself in my betterment, in my health and like happier judgment and all the rest, you're still looking to other people doing the hard work for you. There's also something very strong coming across from a person taking away your happiness and determination for peace and prosperity and just goodness and wellness of all. That person is not at fault here. Like someone, regardless of how connected you are, who they are to you, or whatever, no one can mess this up as much as this has been messed up unless you were doing something to make it this way. So something after, like something you were going after, desiring, wanting, like just going for. You wanted it so much so bad. You didn't actually choose stuff that would have been of alignment or love or peace or prosperity. You were actually choosing out of like ego, selfishness, and survival and fear. And so this situation that has transpired has built up to this. Whether they've played a part in it or not, which to some of you they have, to some of you they didn't give a shit. They were just doing them. They were just doing them. Um, they legitimately were just doing them, and you would have just not had any of this effect either way, right? If you were aligned with your heart, with your prosperity, abundance, trusting that, building that up, learning and going through life in all of the tumultuous, difficult lessons that it offers to achieve the Ten of Cups, to achieve a status of like a king, to achieve good outcomes, but also just good energy flow of all sorts through all of it, through everything, regardless if it's a good situation or a bad situation or whatever's happening, right? Like we are never imprisoned in anything. That is an illusion and that is a hard lesson to learn because then it's all about responsibility, accountability, making your choices and learning that like sometimes they are about what to actually do and create. Other times, it's about where have I been, what have I done, how do I feel about it, and do I really want to be that person? Like this is how it's contributed to my life. This is has occurred because of my choices. This is how I felt inside. This is what I did outside. And this is what has become of it. And I hate it, like I fucking despise it. I want to change. I want to become better. And then finding still like love in that journey, like actually still finding love in the change and the stuff that you needed to go through to realize what you're doing right or wrong, where you have the maturity or accountability, right, that is needed to go forward and to get what you want, not in the abusive, manipulative, egocentric ways, regardless if you're aware of them or not. You deciding to keep doing this and not taking accountability and blaming everyone else is enough to be a sign of like you could have looked here, there, everywhere, and then said like I want stuff to get better. How do I genuinely do it better? Like, and when you're at that state, you do anything. You decide like it's more important to grow and develop and be happy, healthy, whatever it is, right? Quit addictions otherwise, than it is to keep behaving this way. Like the bottom of the bottom is when you actually have the most pressure to decide to go out of your safety zone, out of your comforts, out of your attachments and ego and just like whatever it might be for you, right? To make those choices and change. I'm getting guided to switch decks. But yeah, I feel like I need to mention it again. Whether you're aware of your issues and toxicity or whether you are not, it doesn't excuse you. You are still choosing it all the time. And so, like, the universe doesn't really have judgment. It just is like, okay, you ordered this, get this. Like, that's it. Your order is complete. You keep ordering this. I'm gonna keep giving it to you. And if you want to learn, I'll start showing sh signs, right, on how to, like, shift it. Your guides are gonna start, like, guiding you towards the information that is relevant to you, even if it's painful, right? Even if it's information of accountability, like you don't know that you're doing this, but you are doing this. When you're being like this and you're like, oh, I'm just free and being myself and this is who I truly am, you are actually creating all of this harmony, and you're actually not acting out of good vibes, you're acting out of like selfishness, right? And it can be swapped, but this doesn't feel like the group where like, oh, you're just constantly being who you are and trying to be the best and whatever, nothing's working out, right? And then you have to learn to cut away people you care for or love because they're not healthy for you. You need to learn how to establish boundaries. You need to learn how to take accountability of how maybe you've people pleased, maybe you've been a pushover, maybe you've like out of all of the pain have abused certain things or done certain things that have created certain situations or gained a certain reaction, right? But like there's still movement forward to be had, and you can take a stance that's more selfish. You can actually learn how to do it. It's not impossible for you. Very two different energies, isn't it? From like what I've described to the example I'm giving right now, it's very, very different. And this group is definitely not the later one that I just gave an example of. The energy I was reading is pretty damn direct. Yeah, avoiding transformation. Who would have thought that? Okay, wait a second. There's more here. What's happening here? Oh, I I keep hearing that this is reverse, reverse. Something here is reverse, and it's none of it is reversed. Like as it fell, it is. I mean, you're avoiding transformation, which is blocking you away from your magic, which is then just making you stare at achievements instead of actually having any of that. Um, because you are getting harvest, you are reaping what you are sowing or what you've sown. You're just not accepting where it's leading you, because this is kind of like a loop in a way. Like it starts with the crow, it goes to magic, goes to the corn, comes back to magic, comes back to crow, and just it keeps going like that. It just keeps going and going and going. Because you're avoiding the transformation, which is cutting you off from your gifts, which is then giving you whatever you're like harvesting constantly all the time, all the same. And then that leads you to being like, I can't do anything. I can't believe in myself. I have no power. I have no connections to spirit no more. Um, and so I can't transform and I can't do anything. When it's like it's the other way around. And like this is where you can stop the loop. Is like I need to actually change and shift and transform. And why did I want to say transport? Anyway, moving on. I'll come back to that probably. Yeah, seeking guidance, acceptance and understanding, illumination about what you need to actually change, right? Being expressionate about that to yourself. Honestly, this crow has always been black as black to me, but today it actually looks blue, which is interesting to me. Yeah, accepting the transformation, tapping into the answers of it, because we can always question. Even if we're lost, we will always gain power from questioning, from seeking, from that whole energy. Like, that's the strongest thing ever. Don't seek answers, seek questions. The answers will find you. The questions will just get lost. They will lose you over a certain period of time if you just stop doing it, thinking you're everything, you know whatever it is, and nothing can teach you anymore. No one has any answers. There's no guidance for you. Like, that's a whole different energy than, well, I wonder about this. I wonder about that. What about this? Even if it's a wrong, quote unquote, question, which there's no wrong questions, you will still get answers if they're important to you and necessary, and definitely if they're just beyond the horizon, you'll get them when you need them. But otherwise than that, like you're piling up information, that can just come together when it's needed the way it's needed. I feel like I do also need to warn some of you to not dig into things that you're not supposed to dig into, because not gonna work. Like you're gonna get so much repressed, angry, painful energy from it that it's just gonna, it's not gonna go well. And this transformation is connected to inner child, something about how you haven't loved yourself. Because I feel like you've taken from the outside to be loved all your life. There's something about how you felt like an outsider, like you don't belong. You've just seen everything in such darkness since you were quite young that you've never tried to refine it or change it. You've just taken it and said, like, this is life, this is how it is. Um, a lot of you haven't had significant trauma happen to. If you have, you have. I'm not talking obviously to the people that have, like, heart goes out to you. But for the people that are mostly just very upset about how life's treating them and where everything's going, and like you're not actually trying, like you might be just mad this whole reading, but I commend you for listening at least. Listening to this is powerful and important. Like, you know, that's this could potentially be a step in the right direction for you to change if you want to. If you don't, this will continue. This will not end. Um, but you thought it wasn't, I don't know what your excuses here were about self-love and accepting yourself and then having to change with some aspects of you, right? Because even if you love them, then you have to help them grow and develop and strengthen them. And also, if you want to find that love, you need to then let go of the criticism, pain, and judgment and anger you might be pushing onto others because of whatever this reason is that you're creating excuses around. It does go to childhood. You actually had a more clever and conniving inner child energy than you've thought. Some of you have actually known this very well and have stuffed your child into a box and then you've become a toxic adult because of it. But others of you, it's kind of like you knew you were clever, you knew you were this, you knew you were that. You thought maybe you have some disadvantage because of certain things or disabilities, but then you've just ignored the power that you've actually had with it and how when power is not accepted, admitted, or cared for and internalized in love, that it becomes shadowy and toxic. Doesn't matter what you do through your life, you can have the best values and moral ethics standards of like the highest kind, but if you did this to yourself, hate yourself, or have this aspect of you that is in pain, resentment, shadow, trying to escape things, trying to have things specifically the way they want to, right? It will create like toxicity. It will create harm. You will be a harm person that's harming people. But you can get out of it. There's plenty of options for you. You are not forgotten. You are still beloved. You are still accepted within the family of spirit, you know, just in your own journey of it. Um, there's something happening with your ancestry. All I would recommend there is choose the ancestors that are of love and have them help you. Because if you choose the same old, you've been going out and around, you're gonna get into an even worse pinch than where you are currently right now. That's not necessarily like a warning as a threat. That's just the way energy is coming across right now. Like this is pretty inescapable. It's either this or that. There's not a lot of complication here. And yeah, you can do whatever you need to. Currently, the 7th of October going to the 7th of December is an important period of time for you. If you're having dreams, acute senses, other things, then that means that you are being pushed to actually shift and change. If you're numb as numb, I don't know, you're still looking to other people to drain them of shit. Um, like good stuff. And honestly, you're also choosing dark I don't know, what is it? Dark aspect? I know I'm mumbling. Give me a second. Dark. I'm just gonna say darkness. I don't know what else I could say with that. Like if you're numb as numb, you're still leeching off of other people and choosing darkness. If you're going through a lot of mental disarray. You're getting thrown into darkness to make a choice. And if you're just constantly in fight or flight, I would assume that you are trying to, I guess, figure it out while being in a state of transformation, but then cutting off from all of this energy that you do need to work with. So being in transformation but not actually working with what you need to doesn't make it happen. It's all you. You got to do all of it. There's no shortcuts, there's no skips. It is as it is. Life isn't over. It's not the end of the world. You're okay. You can do this if you want, and if you don't, that's fine too. Life is life. You have free will, and you can do what's best for what you want, right? Or you can choose to change and do what's best for your actual interests and values and love and of heart. Damn, that was a heavy one. I did not expect that. Thank you so much for watching. Sending you love and compassion wherever you are, whatever you're going through. And yeah, if you want to see more of me, you can go into my. As I was saying, I do Twitch. I do Twitch and I do readings or other stuff. Oh, there's a little bird by my window. Oh, I don't know if that was like a tit or what. What are you? No, it's brown, so it's probably not a tit. Anyway, little tiny cute bird. Sorry, distraction. Um, yeah, I just haven't seen it that way. But anyway, yeah. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the appreciation and love and good vibes and everything else. And see you in the next one. Bye bye, ta-ta. Hello, everyone who chose pile three. I almost said pile two because I'm so not used to doing five piles, but yeah, you got the High Priestess reversed. Some of you might be coming from pile two, which I feel like has actually, I don't know, some relevance or resonance to you, but I either way, like if you haven't, it's fine. You're not missing out on anything, believe me. Um, you guys are fighting your gifts. You guys are fighting your like abilities and just like meaning and purpose in your life. I don't know. So you guys have a weird transcendental way of just experiencing life and you're afraid of it. You're afraid of you being weird. You're afraid of like you feeling weird. You're afraid of seeing weird shit in the darkness or in the light. You're just in general uncomfortable with the level of acute sensitivity you might be having in your experience and you don't know where it's going to go, you don't know how to get a stable job with it, you don't know anything. It just doesn't make sense in a conventional way on how to live a healthy or happy life with this, which is interesting in my opinion. In my opinion, I always want to put the card over here, so I'm just gonna do the thing. I'm just gonna put the card there. But let's actually maybe also show how it looks. Yeah. Beautiful, but a little dark, isn't it? I mean, she has a cloak of frickin' everything, like the cosmos, legitimately. But she also might scare some people because of the hoodie hood. Yeah, let's go with this deck. Da-da-da. I heard that this is upright, so we're gonna have it as upright. Three off the top, please. Reversed, reversed, upright, reversed. Yep. What's happening here? Lots of happening. You're not supposed to start something just yet, is what I came across with like the bottom of the deck, but then the top of the deck just clarified it. You're not supposed to start something just yet. You're still seeking truth and understanding about your life and yourself, and you do need to seek rest and recuperation and let go. You really don't want to, because I feel like some of these emotions are so inherent and normal and common to you that you feel like they're a part of you, like you identify with them as part of your identity. This is who I am, this is what makes me up, this is my temper. It's like, no, it's not. You think it is because of this relationships situation. Relationship or relationships could be one or multiple. For some of you, it is multiple. It's just so we don't, exclude and isolate a certain person to be just the dam of it all. But maybe you were impacted by mostly one person, but it feels like like a lot of people, even with that starting message, it's kind of like you come across in certain ways and you've blamed that to be the issue for all of your issues. And it's like, it's actually the other way around. It's because you didn't step into it enough to attract the people that are meant to be for you, by you, that wouldn't have run away from you, that wouldn't have called you to be a crazy this or crazy that or just insane or whatever. Like, you're fine. It's just that you have been trying to hide yourself. Then you start coming out of the closet, and then people start getting freaked out because they thought you were one thing, but you were actually someone else. And then you start blaming yourself for doing that, and it's like, well, just chill. Don't blame them or you. Just accept that, like, you're afraid of being yourself. You're afraid of what that'll create because every single time you've had this reaction of, like, this is not what I signed up for, type of thing. And it's like, yeah, because that's how it came across. Um, like those people were showing the capacity they had about you being your friend or with them or around them or anything with them, honestly. And I know that it's alright in some ways and not alright in some others. Sorry for the wiggly camera. But mostly you're running away from yourself. It's not that other people are running away from you. It's you running away from yourself before you started anything, and then every single time it's kind of like people don't accept you, but that's because you're not accepting yourself to the max. So you can start shining and attracting all of those other people that are meant for you. And it is in tune with your abilities and talents and quirkiness and weirdness and how you see life in general, right? Like it doesn't need to be all conventional, normal, contemporary stuff, or just even you as a person, you're so much more than that. Like, why need to make your life a happy life around these standards that aren't serving anyone and are falling apart? Everything's constantly fucking changing, and there's so much space in this world. You can be whoever you want, you can do whatever you want. It doesn't matter. Yeah, this isn't the problem. You fighting this is the problem. Give some rest, give some contemplation and time for recuperation. It might be a while. It might be a whole hibernation season. A lot of us, especially light workers and starseeds that are on the verge of creating new or living new lives, for the next, I don't know, I want to say like 4 months for some, but mostly around 6 months for most of us, maybe even eight to some people is going to be hibernation. So by springtime, we're still going to start like acting and moving in the new season, but it's still going to be a part of that process of like getting your energy back, getting your ideas more inspiration, motivation, getting um, a bunch of internal stuff, so we're like old ways of identifying, coping, habits, friends and people, and how you talk to people and what you talk about, and routine stuff. Every single little like thing is being reshaped, reformed, or just completely discarded of to have something in that's working better. And for you, it is at least 4 months of contemplation about how you've disowned yourself, disrespected yourself, made yourself out to be the problem, and actually, it wasn't about you. It was about it wasn't about you inherently being a problem. It was about you making yourself the problem. There we go. That's how it wants to come across. And you weren't ever a problem. All of those people were just evidence of you thinking you're a problem. That's why they were there. That's why they did the things they did. It's because like you kind of have that within you. Most of spirituality works that way. It's not other stuff. It's not external. It's always somewhere within us. Especially if it's very stuck, agonizing, blocking stuff or curse feeling things like anything like that. It's hard to accept, but it's always us. We have the keys and the ability to change, even if we're not necessarily the ones inflicting the pain and the hurt onto ourselves, but we might be creating it or contributing to it in some ways. Or we can actually shift and change it at any point, right? Like that's the different sense of power. So it looks like you've just perked your ass right down into this vibe and feeling. It's like you're now accepting this is what your life is about, this is who you are, this is how it is. I will just make my stable living, be okay with that, I don't know, become a grown old grumpy person that's like yelling at kids to get off their lawn or something like get off my lawn. Um yeah, you've really just you've thought that you've reached even a state of enlightenment with this. Like, this is my life, this is what I'm made of, and this is where it's gonna go and be. And it's like you're jumping the gun here. The actual truth is, you're not supposed to start anything new because you need to reflect on yourself and who you truly are, finding love in that and accepting that all of the other people were just kind of like reflecting that internal experience to you, and you've then accepted that as your truth, making it out to be like you will never achieve comfort. It feels like multiple types of comfort. Although it is pentacles, it feels like comfort in the home, comfort in your relationships, comfort in your workplace and how do you make money, comfort in your hobbies and the people you talk to. I don't know, Pilates came through for some reason. Maybe because I wanted actually to start talking about how you've chosen things to do because you thought it was the right thing to do and also the way to mingle and make friends, and it's like it's not your thing. So why are you trying to find friends there? If it was genuinely your thing, you would be making friends there, but you are not genuinely there. And so no one you would be connecting to is genuinely there. It's that simple. It doesn't sound or feel like that, and it's maybe a bit more complicated in how it's played out and how it's playing out or how it needs to play out, but it is kind of that simple. Move on, do your thing. And whatever that is, spirit is always protecting you. Just checking energy. For some of you, is this important? No, it's not. I don't know. For some of you, I feel like it is important, so I'm gonna say it. For some of you, this could be mostly a higher realm experience or manifestation, like it's maybe your soul experiencing this in certain spaces or places, or with their own collectives and ancestries. And then trickling down. So maybe you need to work from the higher realms up to the downer lower ones. Or you need to work from this realm up, like maybe it is you holding on to stuff and then nothing is manifesting differently or happening differently in higher realms because of that. Either way, they are connected. I do want to say that because I was just like in that moment of silence, seeing and noticing that for some of you, this could be more of an energetical thing that you need to work more in energy, and for others, it could be more mental and emotional, where you would need to be more honest, journal, talk to yourself with that way, maybe even get a therapist. Yes, uh, I mean, up to you. Now that's it, right? Yes, I feel like we are good now. Thank you so much for tuning in and having a reading with me. I hope this has helped you. Don't be afraid to be yourself. You were supported by divine realms, your guides, aliens, whoever you believe in, and whatever you are connected to. And you deserve to be happy. So, yeah. Thank you. And appreciate you. If you want to show some support down in the buttons below, like comment and like and sub, I appreciate that. If you don't, you don't. That's okay too. Um, if you want to see more of me, I have a link tree down below that has all of my whatchamacallit thingies. It has Twitch and gaming, YouTube, and all the rest. I am not using Instagram whatsoever. I used to use it, but maybe I'll come back for something else with it. Twitter is the one that has all of my updates for all of the videos, all of the streams. Very rarely do I mention something else besides that, but yeah. Peace out. Have a good one. See ya. Hello, pile number 4. I hope the last pile I named them right from start to finish. I know I did that right at the beginning, but anyway, pile 4. If I call you pile 3, I'm not used to doing 5 piles. Don't at me. Um, 8 of Wands. It's also a really pretty 8 of Wands to me. Huh. I see like a face here. Mm, I wouldn't usually. Even right now, I'm confused why I'm seeing a face here. It does feel like someone, or looks like someone is observing you trying to get one over on you in a way. Like, not very horrible. I don't feel like they can have an effect. So as long as you don't feed into it, right, or get worried or up in your head, you're fine. If you start playing the game, then you get played. But this is like stuff is shifting and moving. If this involves a person in general, I would say don't trust them, as long as you are not comfortable in your own space, place, or timing of things, right? Maybe it's not even the right thing for you. If you super desire it, like out of your own energy, not because you're getting a high from some other energy, then it's understandable that you might undertake something and it's going to be good either way, regardless if it's good or bad, right? If it has results or not. But it feels like someone's playing into the game and it's not you. And they're observing you, they're calculating their strike, they're looking at how fastly things are moving for you, and they're wanting to play a game. And in that game, they get something from you, or out of your energy or efforts, or they might actually even stop you in your tracks for some of you. For the ones that it's like they are gonna stop you in your tracks, they know what you're about to do and they have a relation to you in some way. Like they've known you. I don't feel like it's a close person anymore, but they would know you. You've talked to them, you've shared something personal or even intimate to some level. And others of you, it's just a random stuff person. Like it could be a manager in a workplace, but not exactly your manager. It could be a CEO from another company. It could be, if you're a content creator, another content creator, right? It could be anyone that's loose or vague like that, but somehow could or potentially knows or of a way to have an impact in the background or in the whatever some roundabout way, and you shouldn't be worrying about that because that is in the background. It feels like one background stuff to some of it is just metaphysical in general. A lot of you, it could be actually metaphysical in general, so nothing actually 3D wise is happening, but energy creates our reality, and so it can, I don't think it is going to influence you in any way because you're being protected, but it's important for you to be aware of this. Even if you're not experiencing it, there's going to be something you look back to in this like period of time, like 2 years or something, and be like, "Fuck! Oh my God, really? That was happening." But ultimately, you're right. There's like too much happening in your energy for you to be like fucked with or for you to be tampered with. It's like if they were to try to go to do something to whatever you're manifesting projects or energy wise, right? They would hit a wall of all of those things moving and happening that you haven't maybe taken up, you're not involved in with as much. Maybe it's just passing stuff for you in your life, right? And this being can't get through it. Like they can't. It's impossible for them. So, yeah, we're gonna show you the card and then put it down here. Which deck? Well, this deck. It's really weird. I just noticed, and maybe no one else is gonna notice it, but I am, and it's annoying me. Now that my setup has shifted and changed, I want to flip my table around because it's vertical lines, not horizontal. Yeah, I think it was gonna bug me too much if I wasn't gonna mention it, so good. You're here to hear that. We're gonna keep on moving. Also, it's kind of funny that I thought of that and remembered that on the 801s. On this 801s anyway, because all of the arrows are going like that, but yeah, okay. Maybe yeah, I think maybe someone still wants to kind of like have you in a pyramid scheme where you're at the bottom and they're in the up, or they're trying to have this relationship where it's like if there was a chain, right? It wouldn't be even or equal because someone would be at the top and someone would be at the bottom. The bottom would be driving it and the top would be controlling. Whereas I think you're moving to a experience and direction where it all is on an even playing field on a spectrum and there is variety within that spectrum and it leads you to cooperation and kind of exploring two sides of yourself. Sorry, I just heard something in my house and I constantly hear shit in my house. It's kind of like it's almost haunted. But that was a big weird or whatever and I don't think that was the neighbors. It was weird, but yeah, you instead want to go by the um spectrum of it, where there's more inclusion, more variety, more just love and acceptance and like opportunity, because you're playing with both fields instead of having one over the other. So it's more like different parties can complete each other or cooperate where they are providing to each other in some way. Yeah, I don't know. Something about that line. Yeah, I feel like that's just talking to what we just spoke about. You just don't want the experience of people being left out in the cold or there being issues with that. Yeah. There we go. You want cooperation. You want good vibes and other like nice stuff. Um, it's weird. That's supposed to be here and reverse, reverse, or is this upright? Yeah, upright. Yeah, so you already are aware and know that like this is your decision. This is what you want to have an experience. It's okay for you to go here and desire this, and you have faith and understanding that it'll be working out because you are somehow connected to the divine realms. Maybe it is through a reader. I'm gonna be honest. Maybe it's not you specifically. Maybe you have something or someone that you like kind of like pick up a phone for, have a conversation, put it down for, and then you have your good intuition telling you where the good messages are coming from or the ones that are meant for you and where there's something else trying to send you something. And you've decided to not make it a play game. You're not getting caught in the middle. You're just doing what is good and best for you and knowing that it is going to build ultimate appreciation, balance, harmony, satisfaction instead of argument and other issues, top and bottom. Okay, so ultimately you are going to be winning, and you will be expanded into like this new position. You are going to have this experience of, in a way, calling the shots, but it's not even calling the shots. It's just like being where you're at, living your life, having the position you have, and the responsibility you have, and you want, you work well with it, but then also having the right reward from it, the good pay, the good hours, the good connectivity, the freedom to be you and do whatever you want, but you understand that you're gonna be the one making it and building it, and that there's people that don't want to participate in the same way that you're thinking of, right? Like they don't want to play the game you want to make. But you yourself are kind of like whatever, then you can be like fighting. We are still gonna unite, and it's ultimately gonna balance everything out. So everyone's where they need to be and do what they want to do. This doesn't need to be a big bad decision. This doesn't need to be a headache. Just because something is trying to play up stuff and make stuff happen that isn't for everyone's good doesn't mean they are gonna have the chance to or the good luck or the meaning for it, right? Like the means for it are not going to be there. Is really? Is this it? I guess this might be it. This, I don't know. Let's pull some more cards because this is very short, which I don't mind. I mean, short and sweet is good, isn't it? Everything's hidden, even from you. But you can read the cycles. You can read the changes in season and the shifts in wind and weather. And so you're kind of divinating some stuff out for yourself. You know, this is your opportunity not to just climb into a better position where you have maybe more responsibilities, pay or other stuff, but you're also relinquishing what doesn't serve everyone and giving space for the new. You're actually the one that's going to be touching on this whole new way of life. Because if it was just business and opportunity and that's it, then yeah, whatever. But this feels like you have a sense of how big of an impact it's going to have on the community, on people, on the collective. It feels like a ripple out through the collective, like an actual, like, hey, look, this is actually how things can be taken care of, and we don't need to have this codependent, what do you call it? Codependent competing energy. There we go. It took me a while. It took me a while. Yeah, you're gonna win. You're gonna win. I did get called to do two more. Also, can you zoom in on the cards, please? I'm just gonna assume it's good enough, but it's definitely not good enough. Well, whatever. Oh, there we go. Thank you. I just needed to put down the last card. Um, yeah, no, you're gonna get the results you want. You're working with universal law. You're working with the right energies. You're working with good people, good company is around you. If someone has red flags, you're not even risking it. You're like go the other way, which is really good. And you're using your unique voice and talents. You're taking what you need for yourself to be happy, to be sorted, to be settled materialistically. You're accepting that everything's foggy and unknown, but it's moving the right way. And there's something about inclusion and using everyone's talent or everyone's best use of their ability to make this happen, to co-create them and like give opportunity to loads of people, like loads of people. And there's also a very healthy use of shadow, like in the way of like, okay, I'm not gonna, be super abusive, abrupt, or other things, but I know you're being a snake. I'm gonna be a snake back to you. And in the way that is gonna keep you off my fucking back instead of like playing this fucking game. I have no time for it. I don't want any of it. Damn. That was good. That was great. I mean, very straightforward still message, even though I pulled so many cards, like all of them are really saying the same exact thing over and over again. Like you're doing really good focus, good aim. And yeah, you're gonna do it in the way that you were born to be, I guess, in a way. Victory assured. Um, Sending you a lot of good vibes and appreciation for letting me read your energy and, you know, being here, showing your support however you choose to do so down below in the buttons with the buttons. There's also a link tree if you want to go check out that. I do streaming mostly, and then Twitter is like just updates about all of the other stuff I do in general, all across the internet. So yeah, wishing you the very best with whatever you're going through and wherever you are, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye bye. Hello, pile number five. Almost called you four, but I think I survived. You got the King of Wands. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Twit, twit, twit. You got some freaking wisdom going on here, some Leo energy, but mostly like big cats. Wisdom of big cats is coming through. I don't know what these are. Um, Drakes? No. How are they called in English? Serpent drakes? Serpents? Like, but not don't just the snakes. There's like out in between of drakes or dragons and snakes and serpents. And yeah, I feel like they're kind of them. I don't know why that matters, but some of you are into astrology, but others of you are into like significant quantum mechanics work or quantum mechanic jumping, figuring out the nuances and quirks and just issues surrounding that. Um, ooh, a lot of you are really connected to the divine, to source energy, to the cosmos, to the universe. You probably speak to stars, not necessarily like UFO alien energy vibe, but legitimately like something about the universe, celestial, uh, galaxy vibes, stars, like something about all of those. Like you connect to a lot of that energy. Um, yeah, and the thing that like every star is a sun, right, is coming across here as well, or every sun is a star. There's some important details going on within like your astral realm. I think you're aware of most of them. I don't think you're missing anything, but in general that it's kind of like busy, crowded. There's a lot happening in your astral space, especially at nighttime. You might get like out of nowhere energy that you can't sleep with, like maybe you need to go out for midnight slash, I don't know, 10 o'clock runs and stuff like that. Maybe you need to start going to the gym late because you feel amped up, you have a lot of racing thoughts, you have a lot of ideas, and then your body isn't tired at all. It's not going like to sleep properly. That's because of all of this, and I think it's kind of like the eclipse currently that's going on, or just happened, I mean, it's that energy is kind of going to carry over for you, and it's going to get topped up with the 1010 portal, and then it's going to end at about new moon? I want to say new moon, because I was like, whatever moon cycle is next. It feels like a new moon. So maybe it's important for you astrologically as well. Maybe it relates to a sign of yours. Ascendant came through, though. Ascendant came through. Okay. Three off the top, so I just need to get one more. There we go. Okay, which one's the first one? This is the first one. Upright, reversed, upright. Oh, damn. Man, this is some gnarly good energy. Reversed, upright. Gonna. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Da, 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 da. So you're putting an end to being dissatisfied. Maybe at some points you don't feel it quite yet, but you've made a decision internally to be done with being dissatisfied. You've decided that you don't really need things to happen a certain way for you to be happy. It's a completely different matter. You're liberating yourself out of all of the constraints you've had about your internal world and what you've decided was a label of yours, a way you identified, a way you lived your life, a way you've said that you just are and that you've made it different. Like you've changed your world in a way, and because of that, you've really stopped going against yourself and extending like difficult periods of time, maybe initiating purging you didn't really even need to go through to step into more of a balanced, aligned, equal position within yourself so you can step into a higher position spiritually, but also so you can accept the other coin of life in a way that makes you excited for life, that gives you a point and purpose to kind of explore, expand, express yourself, you have decided that it's better to be this wacky woo woo person than it is to be this very grounded, solid person. Because at the end of the day, like one is actually an illusion and another one is real. And life kind of plays around that. It's not what I thought it was, and I had a feeling, but we all know how programming goes, right? And those experiences, but you've really turned it around. You've stopped hiding. You've kind of went into peace, state of peace and prosperity and like serenity and alignment. And you're letting that be a sign and a show to you in where to move next and what to do when the time is right. I think a part of you understands that like it's not quite the time to move just yet. You're ready, you want to go, you want to bolt, but you need more things to come across and come and fall into place to make you feel better. It's a bit too much at the moment. Um, yeah, and you've stopped being disgruntled. Like in some way, I can see that you emotionally were very upset, and then like life doesn't go that way. Woe is me. I don't even want to say woe is me. I don't think it was about you as much. Sometimes it was, but sometimes it was also about like I fucking hate this place. I hate how people treat each other. I hate how life goes. I hate the circumstances and the randomness. I hate the point that society isn't functional at all. It's all built on a fucking deck of cards. It's all gonna fall apart at some point. Like, and it yet is still requiring me to be this way when it itself cannot even float a single mile like this way, you know? But you've understood where that comes from and why it's a thing. You've accepted that actually it's better for me all around, like for my mental health and prosperity and alignment and just the way I view things and the life I experience, right? I'm not closed off. If I just share, if I experience, if I communicate and connect and like take the precaution I need in the relationships that I want or how I need to go around things, that it's not just a certain thing of like me being It's not just me being this energy of giving and light and hope, but it's also me finding connection within the world and myself and how I express myself and what I do in my life, and then having that lead me through all of the mental dissatisfaction, like significant, severe, debilitating dissatisfaction that like I've experienced. Let me let go of that. Let me let go of all of those thoughts, beliefs, and ideas that I had that really drove me as I was a kid to grow up into this adult that hasn't really been doing me favors as of late or at some points. Now, like you can see the difference and whatever, you just know you're going maybe through the last shadow of your experience where you're really chilling and resting with it. You're really letting it flow and transform and alchemize into something so much more higher than what you thought all of these abilities could be used for or how you could experience them. I think something that's coming across, and maybe it's not for everyone, but it's kind of like you. we're looking for a point and a reason for everything. And so to be productive and to get results, everything has to have a rhyme and a reason. It has to have a goal, a destination, a result. And it's like you've completely let go of that, kind of letting go of that, depends on where you're at. And you've realized that that was the incorrect and unhealthy way of not viewing just life and how you should go around it and with it, but also how you treat spirit, how you treat yourself, how you treat your own soul, how you treat energy, and all of these cosmic wisdoms and ideas and things that you've really got kind of lost in and mesmerized by in a good sense and way, but it's like you've almost taken its magic for granted or taken it away from it or from you seeing the full potential of it because you thought of everything as a point as a desired needed effect instead of it just is what it is and let's just flow and go and have this surreal experience of being like together alive. Yeah, I feel like people have been an important part within this, but it's not just people, it's you, it's your life, how you relate to yourself, how you talk to yourself. And then at the bottom here, it does speak to people relationships and how you're seen in a public setting, how you're viewed in that, how the energy exchanges go on from that as well. But yeah, you've started to actually take it in and be of the energy you were afraid of, or even mocking. Do you feel like you're a very opinionated person that might have had a lot of shifts and changes in how you perceive things and how you go around them and do them? And you've decided to move beyond it. Like, why am I restricting myself with this agitation when I can use this bright mind and intelligence and like intellect towards a better, more cohesive, wholesome experience that actually like creates great stuff, right? Like, or shines the truth of things more forward, or I don't know, adds up in a way that isn't just controlled by me and what I think and my ideas, right? Like, you're not the only one that should be doing this, is how it's coming across. Like, it's a thing where you're not meant to do it all. You're meant to be you as well. You don't need to be a certain way. You need to be your way. And everything else has its own flow and mechanism on how it's functioning the best it can in the circumstances it has, but also in the best way possible for everything and everyone else as well. Like it's a whole ecosystem kind of idea is how it's coming across. All right, we're gonna get some Monster Garden cards. Eh. I'm gonna get some Oracle Zacky Zax cards. You can buy them on a site that kind of looks dodge, but it's actually legit. There's only, I think, one site you can buy it off of. I could be wrong. And if you really want to find out where to get these cards, you can just come to my Twitch and I'll help all of y'all out in finding the link for it. I'm just probably gonna post it on the live and be like, hey, hi, hello, here you go. Oops. Ready. I mean, yeah, that's your energy. That's pretty much your energy. It's not necessarily that you got to do something or you don't have to do something right this instant. I think you're already doing it. If you're dilly-dallying on something, you can look into it and realize and understand it more. What are these? It looks like either dough in the suitcase or eggs, like huge ostrich eggs in it. I feel like it's eggs for this reading. Not on baked bread, but more like eggs. Little babies ready to hatch. Yeah, it's kind of like little babies ready to hatch, seeds ready to sprout, things that have been prepared for this business to occur. Um, is in there, and you're kind of in your own space and place with things. all of the wisdom you're gaining or have is divine and it is aligned. I do gotta say that. Like what you're hearing and seeing, sometimes it can be real cray cray, but it is actually real. On that level, you don't need to attach to it or make it more than it is, but you can accept that, like, oh, I'm not, or going like places that I'm not supposed to or that are invalid. I feel like you as a person, you know how to check your intuition and check with your intuition. So, for example, am I getting this from me or is it from my guides? Is it from some energy or some other shit? Is it collective? Right? Yeah, and keep being naturally you. You doing what you're doing currently right now, that's the most comfortable, cozy. It's like your own personal space, right? It's your place of zen and happiness and alignment. That's the most important thing ever at the moment. So when the season of hibernation is going to end for you, or whatever this reflection moving away period is, the shift in the tower, the change that's occurring currently is done. After that is done, you can move on wherever you want. You'll be like, I'm good. But currently, it's kind of like stay in that cozy space. This now reminds me of a tent that you'd make as kids. For like a pillow fortress. There we go. That's how it's called, right? In English, like a pillow fortress, a blanket like castle, whatever you want to call it. Go to that space of cozy and good vibes. You might feel like at some points that you're missing out on shit, but you're actually not. You really need to be in this space of coming back to yourself, reflecting, and moving away from all of these ideas that weren't serving you to begin with. You're already aware of all of this. I think you just might get a tendency or tenacity to move when it's like the world's going cray cray for a bit. Don't worry about it. Don't take on that energy. I feel like the collective energy might push you certain places and ways. I think like if it's people or you're just gonna be like, yeah, whatever. But if it's something that you feel out of nowhere, you're kind of like more inclined to move because then you think maybe it's your energy. It's like, could be because your energy is agitated by collective energy, could be just you feeling some energy in your room, could be something else, like, could be anything. Don't act on it. You will definitely know when to act on it. Just enjoy the peace and calm vibes. Just be in the pillow fortress. I don't know why it's that important. I feel like some of you don't want to stay in the pillow fortress, and I strongly implore you, please stay in the pillow like fortress. You will be helping out not just yourself, but so many people going through crazy shit that they can't control. Like they can't be in the pillow fortress. You can. And honestly, if you saw the multiple different choices you could be going through, you'd probably take the pillow fortress before this adventure begins instead of like, nah, fuck it. I'm just gonna go. We ball. I'm gonna go now. And then being like, fuck, damn it. I didn't do the thing. I didn't do the thing. Um, yeah. Anyway, you guys enjoy your gentle joy and good vibes and complementary colors. This is exactly like the vibe I was feeling into and getting. And if you wonder why the cards are odd or not like what you've seen before, they are actually connected to a video game as well. So, and I believe this is actually how the game looks. I still need to play it. I got it gifted to me. I still haven't played it. It's been a year. And then ready to roll, loyalty and devotion. Yeah, and it's reversed at the bottom of the deck. Like that's just yet again the same exact message I just said. It's just being reclarified by some cards. So some of y'all who are like, ah, you just channeling and spit fire. Well, yeah, but that's because it's coming from somewhere. It's your energy. Well, or the energy of the cards, or something in your energy, not necessarily yours, right? Could be anything. But yeah, this is your reading. I hope you enjoyed. I hope this helps. Thank you so much for participating and spreading love and sharing your vibes and goodness and stuff like that. I appreciate you. If you want to go click some buttons and comment or like or other stuff, yeah, you don't have to, but thank you so much. That does help. And other than that, I have a link tree at the description boxy box, and that will show you my Twitch and That's really the only other thing, unless you like gaming on YouTube, then that too. That's worth like kind of going to. I do 2 streams a week. I do tarot or gaming or just chatting. Um, Live tarot, everyone can hear your reading, but you have it personalized to you on whatever you want. You can ask for whatever, except for the decks. I've noticed I use the decks I do, and that's it. And that's how we're gonna keep it. But yeah.